sitting here listening to you talk, and as I'm listening to you talk, I see that this is 100% something that you're passionate about. What made you say, you know what, 100%, this has to be my thesis. Like, I have to write about this particular subject. And then I want to ask you about the title. Like, what made you want to title this book what you titled it? Because the number one thing that's standing out to me in your title is the foundations. So, like, that's the core value, right, of what it is that you're building off of, and that stabilizes your thesis. So what made you want to write about that?
So, in my in my dissertation.
Dissertation.
Because the thesis was the two masters.
That's the masters. Wait a minute. Oh, we got to go through all of that too before you go. The two masters, we got to go through all that. But yeah, let's get to those.
So foundation, if anything, we know that if you have a solid foundation, everything that built on it will last. And if it's shaky, it's going to be shaky.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. You got that. We can't gloss over the deep. Say that again, because that was deep.
Right. So foundation, anything that's built on solid ground, solid foundations, will build up, and it will be built up to last.
Love it.
However, if it's on shaky, muddy, wishy-washy ground, that's what you're going to get in the end result. It's going to be a mudslide. So the foundation is everything. The foundation is your fundamentals. Like, even when you think about being a parent, what are you teaching your child at home? What are the guiding principles in your household? You say that these are the things you should, your non-negotiables. What are your values? So the foundation for me of teacher success is going to be giving them the tools and strategies, giving them a chance to be great, because you don't show up every day not to be great. So if you give them the tool, no longer we like, here's the test, figure it out. No, give them the answers. Give them the tools, and then allow them to build upon, and then they can start saying, okay, that answer is not valid for me. That's not right for me. But they'll have they're not going in with guesswork, because if they're guessing, then that's what they're teaching the children. And so and doing the coursework, I struggled as a first year, as most people first year teachers. Everybody means well in the programs that you do, whether it be, it is a college program, but you have all these programs to help teachers, because it's a field that it's dying, and we need teachers. However, they don't stay past 3 years because, and this is research, because they don't feel supported, that they don't have self-efficacy. So I really dive deep into self-efficacy, and that means self-confidence, self-determination. Like, I got this, I can do this, because every day you go into a classroom, it's going to be something different. It's never the same experience. So, like, not having any guide to navigate that water, is man overboard. You're asking them to fail. So they need strategies, they need tools, they need foundation for success, so they can at least get through that first year, second year, and then they'll build upon throughout their experience and their transformative learning, which is that reflection. And they'll say, I did this well. Every day didn't suck. And then, I need to do this better.
I do want to ask you this, because I'm always interested in people's mindset. And one of the things that I like to do is to dig deep into, what are your strategies for being successful, right? So you're an author, you have multiple degrees, your doctorate degrees, you said 2 master's degrees. What is your mindset like to accomplish all of those things? And I know that you ran into a lot of obstacles throughout your journey doing that. What made you keep going?
There's always obstacles. There's obstacles today, right? However, determination. Having people around me who believe in me, such as my amazing husband who's here. Find your village. Find the people that strengthen you and lift you up. And then even if they say, oh, you know what? You did, that lesson plan was great. However, we need to add this. We need to take away this. People who won't lie to you. So I've had people that were just blatantly honest. I've had some that did it in a way that I could receive it and not so harsh. And I've also had a lot of obstacles and challenges. I grew up, and I'm one of 7, and nothing was given easy. And my mom was a single mom because my father passed very early on, before I even got to kindergarten. And I had to dig down into my faith and into my morals and what was taught to me as a young child, and say, you know what, this is what I want for my students. And then as a mother, I want the teacher that's going to show up, the administrator is going to show up, the staff member that's going to show up for my children the way I show up for my children. So that's who I aspire to always be. That staff member that ensures that children are safe and they feel loved. They might not always like the approach or the correction. However, I always let them know it's for your future success. I touch back with a lot of my students from 10 years ago and beyond, because it's not a closed door. I continue with them, and mainly students who have disabilities. Their parents stay in touch with me. Oh, she's this, he's that, and let me know how I impacted that child in that classroom. And so if we can give that teacher that confidence and that win, and give them the tools, like I said, and the strategies, not to have to recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
You have to give them something to come in the door and say, okay, this is what it's about. This is what children need to do. This is what I need to do. And most of all, the boundaries I need to create for myself, for my safe space. That's what that is.
That's 100% powerful. I respect what you just said 100%. Let me ask you this question. January 24th, big day. Something's
Yes.
supposed to be happening. What's going on that day?
So I'm having my launch event, and it's a celebration of success. It's a celebration of education. It's a celebration of family and generations, because it's not just my success, it's my family's, it's anybody who I've touched. It's in Queens, New York. It's at the Edward Davis Center on Farmers Boulevard, 118, that's 35, Farmers Boulevard. And I'm from Queens, so I'm from Southside Jamaica, Queens. And I also, I'm a product of this same system. And I want them to know, I always want every teacher, every student to know, every parent, because I handle everyone with care and their goals in mind. It doesn't come across, like I said, every time it's not going to come across as sweet candy, but it's going to come across as care. It's going to come across as, I have your back. I want you to succeed. And Foundation for Success, and having that out there, letting people know that educators really care, and they care about the work. They care about what they're doing with your children and their success.
Before we wrap up, I definitely want to ask you a question, but I want to ask you a question from a parent's standpoint. And I'm going to act like the parent when I do this. I'm going to act like I'm actually the parent. I'm having a difficult time right now with my child. My child right now, he hasn't got evaluated yet, but I can see the struggles that he is having in school. How do I go about getting him evaluated for possibly ISP, or just to find out the reason why he might really be struggling inside of a school?
So I would, as a parent, I would, and I know this well, you would go to the school, sign a letter, and ask for, saying, I would like to have my child evaluated. You would meet with their teachers to see if some similar patterns are happening in school that you see in the classroom or even outside the classroom. Because every moment, every interaction, it doesn't matter if it's in a gymnasium, if it's in a cafeteria, you need to know how this child, is navigating through the system. And so you would say, you call for a meeting, meet with the teachers, meet with administrators, and say, this is something that I'm noticing, and I need your help. They're going to tell you to say, DJ, would like my child evaluated. And then it's picked up by the school psychologist, they're tested, and then if they see something that needs a classification that is happening that they can do, then they will. And if not, then it probably would be like some counseling or some services, because it really depends on what you're seeing. It might be that child is not pushed in that classroom. So I wouldn't jump to evaluation. I always tell teachers, document everything. Data is truth. That's another foundational skill. Document everything you're seeing with the kids, and not just behavioral. It should be behavioral as well. And then see if it's the setting, the time, Is it after lunch? You know, boys learn differently than girls. So instead of just saying, hey, you need to be evaluated as a, you know, teacher, you know, one teacher told me asked me actually, was I feeding my son sugary cereal in the morning? I was offended at first. So approach is everything. Because that lets, your approach is how a parent will listen and open up, or they'll close up and they'll give that defensive mechanism or approach towards you. So how you approach the parent as a teacher matters. How you approach teachers as parents matters. So just make sure you're doing your due diligence as a parent to document things. And then as for the teachers, make sure they're doing their due diligence by documenting test scores, or, you know, and time of day. What, you know, was it sugary? And it was sugary cereal, so I had to scale back. I had to actually, not like how it came out, but I had to scale back on waffles and syrup in the morning, because boys have a different set of energies.
I love waffles.
So, right, don't we all? But maybe give them a little slither of syrup, a drizzle. And just know your children that you're in front of. As parents, know your children. You know, document things. You know, so it's a partnership that must happen in order for a child to be successful.
But let me ask you, as a parent though, like if my kid gets evaluated and they find something, what happens to me? Do I get in trouble? Is it something that they're gonna think like I just didn't expose myself to enough educational materials? Like, what happens to me?
Nothing. If it's for the child, what needs to happen with you is you're invited into that process as much as possible, if it's done well.
So that means the meetings, I'm sitting in the meetings, I'm actually advocating, I have the opportunity to advocate for my child. It's not somebody just making decisions for me.
Absolutely, because that parental, like you have, and guardians, a wealth of knowledge. And if we work together in that partnership, is a triangle, I call it. It's the child, it's the school, and it's the parent. Or let's put the child at the point. We work together to make sure they get where they need to go.
Love it, love it. So I'm about to put you on the spot. This is something that we do on Journey of the Mindset, where I actually get up and I walk off. And I give you about 30 to 60 seconds with the listeners. And you can just pour into them whatever it is on your heart that you think that they should hear about your book. So I'm going to get up and I'm going to step to the side. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to a minute for you to just be one-on-one with the listeners right now and the viewers right now, and just let them know why it's really important for you to come there to January 24th. I'm going to put the address over there. First of all, before we get there, how do they even get tickets to this event?
So it's on Eventbrite. You'll look for Dr. Danielle Point Du Jour's book launch event, Eventbrite. Go right there and you can purchase a ticket.
So for those of y'all, because I know my 143 Speaks family, I am going to put the link in the description for you guys to be there. I am going to be there as well. I think that this is a great opportunity for some educators and parents and everything to come out, but most of all, purchase the book. So I want to go back and I want to say, I'm going to step to the side. I'm going to give you 30 to a minute to speak to some of the viewers, and just whatever lands on your heart that you would like for them to know, I just want you to just pour it into them and just give it to them. All right? You down for that?
I'm down.
All right, here you go. I'm walking away now. Do your thing.
Oh, and then by the way, I'm giving you the book if you come to the event. So how about that?
Signed copy?
Signed copy.
All right.
So this book is like dear to my heart. As DJ said, the passion is there. I don't want any teacher to walk into a classroom and feel like defeated, and go home every day defeated. Now you're gonna cry, so be ready for it. However, I need you it to be more tears of joy and success and motivated. You know, like I've done it. I'm doing better than you actually feeling defeated. Strategies, tools, reflection tools where you can journal. Like if you follow the blueprint, you won't feel the same. You won't be the same. And then my information is in a book. I do conferences, workshops. I'll go state to state. I'm taking this worldwide. I love special education. I love dealing with it, learning about our students. I just love it. It's inside of me. So everything I have, that's just a piece of it. So get with me. I'm Dr. Danielle Point Du Jour. My book is Foundations for Success, Strategies and Tools for the First Year Special Education Teacher. And it's not limited to special education teachers. So thank you so much for the time. This has been great. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you for taking your time to come, because before you came here, what did you do before you got here? Where you was at?
So I was on 94.7 The Block with Toya Beasley. It was amazing. That was such a great experience as well. And you'll hear snippets of it next week between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning at 94.7 The Block. Listen out for her. That's my girl, Toya Beasley. We're building each other up in this community. It's time to build one another up and support one another. So I would love to see you there. I want the doors. I want it door to door, wall to wall people. I want you to come support, bring your family, come eat some good food, listen to some great music, and celebrate my accomplishment. Actually, celebrate our accomplishment as a community.
Listen, I want to thank you for coming. I know that right now you're doing your thing with going around and promoting your book. We will be there on January 24th at the book signing. Once again, thank you for coming. I want to thank your husband for coming. He's in the background right now, holding it down. It's always good to have that foundations of support that's with you, the people that's holding you up and lifting you up. World family, listen, just a few things so that way you all know what's happening. Valentine's Day, February 14th, the merch store is opening. There will be a link and everything in the description, and all of the episodes that's going to come out. The 143 Speaks merch is going to come out on Valentine's Day. Stay tuned for that. Also, check in on Transformational Talks. Will come out on YouTube every Wednesday at 7 p.m. where we're strategizing and giving tips and tools about life's journey. Until next time, world family, keep on tuning in, keep on spreading love. I love you. Peace. What's going on, LPA family? Check this out. Got a surprise for y'all. I don't know if y'all recognize this young man sitting to the left of me right now, but we did a podcast last year when he was a senior at LPA, and he came back to bless us with his presence and information on his first half of his college year. So without further ado, just in case y'all don't know who this gentleman is, let's give a round of applause for Mr. Lamar Brown. What's